Welcome to Don't Be a Basic Biscuit, a real estate marketing podcast where we talk about what it takes to stand out in today's real estate world. I'm your host, Harveer Singh, and you can find me on all social platforms under the handle Real Estate Singh. Now let's get the show on the road. Hey, so welcome to the precursor to season 2, which is going to be released next week. I wanted to talk to you guys quickly about a personal branding class that I will be holding next Friday, February 7th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'd love for you guys all to register with the link below. Now, in this particular episode, I was interviewed by my friends Lisa and Chuck, who are New York real estate managers with Howard Hanna. And they talked to me about personal branding. So this is a great episode to listen to before you join the personal branding class. We talk about, Googling ourselves and making sure that you guys appropriately get your name out there as a realtor. So listen in, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure that you subscribe and share this episode.
All right, bring him on. Let's meet Harveer Singh from Howard Hanna Rand in New Jersey. So welcome. Harveer's been on our leadership team for quite a while and works with about 60 agents in New Jersey.
Thank you so much for having me on here, Lisa and Chuck. And I'm just super excited to be on here and talking about real estate and marketing. It's like kind of my go-to and my favorite thing. If I didn't jump into that side of the business, I wouldn't be where I am today.
It's truly an exciting part of the business. Marketing, I mean, we think about sales, right? We think about listing homes, writing contracts. But to me, the biggest, most important skills you need as a realtor, negotiation and marketing. And marketing, not just the house, but we're seeing now more than ever, marketing yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Incredibly important. I feel if, sales is marketing. In my opinion, you cannot have one without the other. I find marketing to be one of the most important aspects of any business because you could have the most amazing product, but if you're not distributing that product and making sure people see it, it's not worth anything. So that's why I think it's such a great topic that you guys pulled me on for.
Yeah. Well, for anybody who hasn't seen it, and we're going to put all your contact information on here, links to your people can follow you easily, and you'll talk about how well you did that. He has a great session on 10 things you need to do as soon as you get your license. And I will say, even if you didn't get your license yesterday, you should take this class because it got me so excited. We have a training going on right now with brand new agents. I told all of them, you need to watch this. You need to pay attention. And talking about having an online presence. And so Chuck and I challenged ourselves. I Googled Chuck, pretended I didn't know him, and what did I find, right? So I Googled, first of all, I put in Chuck Flynn. I think there's an actor named Chuck Flynn. There's some other people named Chuck Flynn. And I specifically did Chuck and not Charles because maybe my good friend said, oh, you should meet my realtor, Chuck. So then I did Chuck Flynn Realtor and everything popped up, right? And it all said Charles Flynn, even though I wrote Chuck. His Howard Hanna page was the first. He had great reviews. He had links to all of his social media. So I will say he had a great result in finding him. Right. So then,
All right.
yeah. So my job, and good questions and answers, good reviews, 5 out of 5 on your average of reviews. So great things there. So I think you've got step 1 down.
Great. Love it. Mic drop. Well, I Googled Lisa, I Googled your name. All right. And you come up, your profile's on your Hannah profile came up first, which is fantastic. And yeah, you were all over. I Googled Lisa Avery. I did better with, and I will tell you, I did better with Lisa Avery Realtor. Speaking of reviews though, so I had 5 out of 5. And one of the things that came up was one of your things on one of the aggregators, the website aggregators, and you didn't have any reviews.
Uh-oh.
No reviews. But you were all up and down the page. You're up,
Okay.
you're up and down the page.
So I think that's part of why we want Harveer here, because I think that like I could just default to, I could hear all that and be like, all right, then fine. Why bother? Right? I've got no reviews. I'm not coming up first. I'm not even going to try. But I know that's not the right response, right? True. I should. So Harveer, two of us, we have somewhat information, but we need more. We need some guidance. We're gonna let you talk now.
Yeah, great. Look, thanks for that. The start. I actually should have Googled myself before I got on here. I haven't done it in a while, but what I can tell you, it is never too late to start. So when somebody says, "Hey, check out Lisa Avery. She's a great realtor," they're going to check you out online. Like if you go to any restaurant, if you go anywhere, you're going to a Broadway show, you're going to a movie, you're going to look up the reviews. You're going to look up, is this restaurant good? So that's the same thing that people are going to be doing for you. So this is pretty much brand distribution. So essentially what you're going to be doing is you have to be on every single website that you possibly can. You have to create a profile on every single website that you possibly can, right? So you should have a realtor.com profile and it should be fully filled out and optimized, right? All the way down to the banner in the back of your profile photo, there should be something there. If you go out there and you Googled, and I'm not going to throw anybody's name out, but if you Googled people in your office, I can guarantee they might pop up on realtor.com, but it's going to be that empty person, shaded person thing with nothing in the background, no contact information, no number. That is that's really not good for you. Um, the important thing is that you have to be fully optimized on every one of those websites. So realtor.com, Zillow.com, Trulia.com. Having a Google page setup, which I know that we're gonna get to later. But being optimized online so that when you're searched, it looks like you've been doing this for a long time. And this is also great for newer agents because newer agents are like, well, XYZ agent has so many years ahead of me, but you could be fully optimized online way better than XYZ agent who's been doing this for 20 years. And people are going to see your online presence as superior to the agent that has been doing this for 20 years. So it is very important. And if you're like, oh, I don't have that many reviews, but if you have 3 clients, but those 3 clients reviewed you on all those websites, that still looks really good. But if you have 0 reviews on all those websites, and look, if you're a brand new agent, you could have other industry professionals review you as well. So if you have people like your go-to inspector, your go-to attorney, these people could also review you as a newer agent, being like, look, I built a relationship with this person. They're very professional. They're very good at what they do. And they would be a great realtor for anybody. These are places where you can get reviews, even as a new agent, that will allow you to get that search engine optimization up a little bit. Your reviews are coming up on more of these websites. So don't be afraid of being a new realtor, but you got to put the work in. And sometimes that work doesn't only mean lead generating, which is very important. Of course, you got to do that daily. But setting up this online presence just once lasts your whole career. So it's very important.
All right, so Harvey, I think sometimes some people and maybe this person gets hung up in the details, right? Like, so you've mentioned like I'm sure there's 20 websites that we need to put our profiles on. So silly maybe question. Do use that same businessy headshot from 10 years ago on everyone? You personally, I love that photo of you on the stairs in front of a building because I think like that's an architecturally significant. What do I do as a realtor? Like, do I have one photo on everything? Do I try to customize to the site? What's your advice there?
So this is interesting. Now, this comes into actually building the brand, and I'm going to be having a course on February 7th at 12 o'clock. I'm sure that it'll be linked in the caption section here. But building a brand. Now, you're essentially talking about brand building. Now, why did I, instead of a 3-piece suit, all looking all like serious or giving that little sly smile, why did I choose to sit on the steps of a brownstone rather than doing that? It was because of branding. My target market is in a city type area where we have a lot of brownstones. I also wanted to come off as a realtor that was a little more laid back rather than the suit and tie 3-piece suit realtor. So I had put a lot of thought into who I am as a person, into creating that image of myself, the online presence of myself. So you saw, oh, look at that. I love that photo of him sitting on the brownstone rather than a traditional photo. I'm not telling all you guys to do that, but there is a way to brand yourself in a specific way. Now, your real question was, do you do that in one website and different to the other? No, I would definitely keep your brand consistent. So whatever photo you do use, have that on all of your websites. And that way, at least you have some consistency. You could have multiple photos, but within the same theme, right? The same grand guidelines. Essentially, all these things that I'm talking about, we'll go over more in more detail in my course. But that is the idea: is being consistent, because when people see you, they want to be able to understand your brand consistency. There you go. Very important. So brand consistency in real estate, period, is super important. Lead generating daily, the marketing, putting in the time to use social media engagement, doing all these things. Consistency is incredibly important. But at the end of the day, to answer your question, consistency.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay.
Well, I want to say, like, one of the things that you need to be consistent with, though, is like, you with Realtor Avery. Try to be Realtor Avery on each different platform, right? We need to be careful with the way we're searched, and the more consistent you can be. Think of somebody, like, if somebody were searching you, how would they search you? And then try to have that exact result on each different platform. It just helps the internet work better, right? It helps it find you better, find you easier.
Definitely, definitely is very important.
I'm listening, obviously listening to you. Um, when you said you wanted that brownstone concept, what do you say to an agent who says, I am brand new. I haven't developed a niche yet because I haven't sold anything. In the town that I live in, it's a town of about 50,000 people. We have all kinds of, you know, traditional housing, right? But then the next town over, we have condominiums, we have big houses on the waterfront. The other town over, we have is agricultural farms. How do I decide? Do I need to take a niche right away? I don't want to lose out on business. I don't want someone to think, oh, she only sells multifamily investment housing, or she only sells, whatever, ranch houses. How do you prevent you being typecast as a realtor?
Well, so first off, that photo that I took of me sitting on the stairs, I've done variations of that throughout my career. So obviously you have to start somewhere, right? As a new agent, doing something over nothing is gonna get you somewhere. Now, me sitting on the stairs is because most of the things around me are all about cities. I'm Hoboken, Jersey City, all these places. I'm literally across the river from Manhattan. We overlook the World Trade Center. So
Beautiful.
that is my brand. Yeah, it's beautiful. But that your brand does not necessarily need to be urban or rural, or it doesn't have to be that. It could be more based on who you are as a person, right? Now, you look at me, I have clearly a very different look than most people, and that was the brand that I built. I even have stickers with my face on it, and it focuses on the big glasses. Now I can never change my glasses.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, the big glasses, the beard, the beanie, and this has become my brand. So your brand does not necessarily need to be single family houses, multifamily houses. You don't need to jump deep into that niche right away. I would say find your niche, and especially as a newer agent. You're going to be doing a lot of business. You're going to try to be looking at, you're going to do some single family, some investment family, multifamily. You're going to do some rural stuff. You're going to do land. You might find that you are either better at a certain type of property, or you enjoy a certain type of sale better. That is when you start moving your niche into that direction, right? So for me, I'm also a CPA and MBA, and people saw that I was a realtor with a CPA and MBA, and they're like, wow, that's different. And so I started making my niche investment real estate. So I started working with smaller or new time investors that may or may not have bought a house, but now they're like, now what? You know, don't stop, right? You could either house hack, keep your house that you have, buy another one, rent that one out. Now you move at this one, or you start small. I have a house. Let's find you a smaller investment property. Now, if you know the numbers, you know real estate investing pretty well, you became the go-to realtor for that type of property. As that was my niche, and that was something that I enjoyed doing, and I had the background to do it. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be a CPA to do investment real estate. It just made me look better to the people out there. Now, that's the difference, is that you don't necessarily need to have one when you first start out. You find your niche.
I think
Okay.
I like what you just said. You find your niche, and I think your niche is staring you in the face for a big part of your day. We just forget to use it in this way, and what I mean by that is, I think my niche is on my contacts list on my phone. And what I think I need to do is open my contacts, start at the top, whoever that first person is. Okay, who are they? All right, what are they this? Are they that? Where do they work? Where do they live? And then I go to the next person. Do they have kids? Do they not have kids? Are they retired? Are they working? Are they a CPA? Are they a doctor? Are they a realtor? Like, I would go through my contacts list and I would try to identify as many characteristics of everybody in my contacts. You're gonna see a theme. You're gonna see some commonality, right? And
Mhm.
that's your niche. You don't realize it. But that's exactly what I would do to try to find maybe my first niche.
I like that. That's actually a really good idea. And that is, let's say when you're trying to figure out what your target market is, you do have to research your target market.
Right.
And what you're saying is research your sphere of influence, which is your referral network. And that's actually a really great way to do that. Actually, that's very smart. I like that.
I'm gonna write that down, Chuck. And he said that it was great, but your idea.
Well, that was the first thing. It's yesterday when we were talking before this during prep, and I mentioned I was at this event yesterday, which host it was a party for the top 300 brokers in our market, and I crashed the party and was in the right place at the right time. Lucky me. But they did a panel, and that was the very first thing that the gentleman who was on the panel said. He said, "Fine, who are you talking to? Who are you advertising to? Who is your customer avatar, right? We tell our agents to build their customer avatars. And they go, "How do I do it?" And I go, "This is how you do it. You gotta,
Mm. Yeah.
so yeah.
Another way, actually, I would say is also to identify, you know, so my family, my sister's a doctor, my dad's a doctor. I'm the black sheep. I went to real estate. But the that is a commonality there, is that a lot of people in my sphere are doctors, and that is why I also went into the niche of investments, because doctors really love to talk about investments. And with all due respect to a lot of doctors, a lot of them are not very good at investing. So coming to a proper professional like us to educate them and talk to them, you could do a seminar for doctors. Let's just say the people that growing up are blue collar or white collar or something. You could do like a XYZ seminar for XYZ person or industry, right? So niching really helps, because that's why they always say a realtor with 3 states of business doesn't always necessarily do as good as that one realtor that really focuses on that one city and becomes like the dominant realtor of that zip code or of those streets or of that condo building, right?
Right.
So it is very interesting. Sometimes zoning in, I would say oftentimes zoning in is more important.
Yeah, I like that. And I think that, what really energized me the last few weeks, because I think it probably was about 2 or 3 weeks ago that through some work that you do for our leadership team on Instagram got me jazzed up, and then taking your session. And it falls on, I've got a vacation plan to the first week in February. So I'm going to see if I can watch you from Panama. I really feel like, you have gotten me energized to say, I need to focus on this. I need, even as a manager of an office, I need a brand as well. And I try to always tell the agents here, I don't ask you to do anything I'm not willing to do. And I think, I'm not a person who sets a lot of resolutions, but January is a good reset. And I think this is the perfect time to think about, and even just to say, what's my brand for 25? Maybe someone's afraid of committing. Like, do I have to change my like, if you told me I could never cut my hair again because I have to keep it looking the same, I would freak out. But if this why don't you try that style for a year? Okay, I can a little uh, so I commend you to say you're gonna keep the beard forever.
Well, yeah, it's brand consistency. And you actually touched on a very important topic. I think as realtors, as entrepreneurs of our own business, I think feeding our mind positivity and feeding our mind new ideas is incredibly important. Uh, Also, a lot of us fear getting out of our shell and doing things that we're not comfortable with. And that's why educating yourself, hearing other people talk, that's why I created. So what Lisa's bringing up is that I created an Instagram group for all of our managers to kind of give each other ideas on social media strategies. And that will allow us to help our other, our agents. It'll allow us to help in our job. But that was the idea, is education and consistency in feeding your mind positivity, which brings me to my next point. Always be learning. You could be, again, like you said, in the business for 20 years and learn something new, especially with the changing times that we have. The idea is keep marketing, do new things, and feed yourself positivity, because it is hard. When our checks come 1 month at a time, if you don't have anything in the pipeline, that means your next check is 2 to 3 months out, right? So it is very tough sometimes on us realtors when we have to stay positive and work hard. So keep learning. I think that's super important as well.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate your time today, and I could listen to you all day, but I know you have other things to do. And I think that anybody, again, follow Real Estate Sing, the podcast, the sessions. Another thing I love about you, which I'm going to work on, you talk so quickly and so impactfully that, like, when you say take this 10-step course, I told everyone each step is like 2.5, 4 minutes. Like, he's not telling you you need to spend 20 hours with me. So you're gonna love it. The bite-sized learning, I can't say enough of how much I have learned from you, and I truly appreciate it. And I'm gonna work. It's like I said, it's 25 is gonna be a great year.
Oh, it's gonna be phenomenal, guys. And the bite-sized learning, always, it's now become consistent across all platforms of social media. The shorter and more to the point videos that you have, the more impactful. If you have a long 10-minute video versus a 30-second video that says the same thing that you said really in 10 minutes, in 30 seconds, that video is going to do better. So that's why I try to find a way to say what I need to say as quick and as precisely as I possibly can to make the best impact. Because at the end of the day, we've unfortunately become goldfish and we have attention spans of 6 seconds. So
Yeah.
that's really important to keep in mind as well.
Well, thank you for giving us more than 6 seconds today.
No problem, guys. And of course, I won't lie. My podcasts are about 15 minutes each episode. But I love that you guys invited me on to this. This was really exciting. This was really fun, and I hope to connect with your audience as well.